Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 150, Focusing on the Wrong Thing. Episode 150. Whoop whoop. So exciting. Oh my gosh. So next year will be the 200th episode. And I'm going to be planning a lot for that, my friends. Last year we had a big online party for the 100th episode with prizes and fun and dancing. And I'm already thinking about how big I want to make the 200th episode. But I'm excited that 150 episodes. That's like 150 weeks of showing up for the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast. That's crazy, right? That's like 3 years almost. Every single week. I have not gone 1 week without creating a new podcast episode. So I'm asking y'all a big favor. If you haven't reviewed me on iTunes yet, please go over and do that. It helps my podcast rank higher and reach more people, and it's free, and there's no ads ever. So go over to iTunes. If you're on your phone, you click into the show, Stop Over Drinking and Start Living, and you scroll to the bottom, and you click on review, and you just tap that 5th star, and then you scroll a little bit more, and you can leave a comment. And I would love to hear how the podcast has changed your life and how you apply the things that I talk about in regards to stopping over drinking to your life. And I just love reading the reviews. And like I said, the more reviews we get, the more people get the podcast and the more people get helped. So I ask a big favor of you from that on the 150th episode. So today's topic, first, it's about focusing on the wrong thing. I'm going to get into that. But first, I want to remind you to sign up for the free live class that I'm teaching next Tuesday and Thursday, November 16th and 18th, called How to Not Overdrink During the Holidays. And so I'm going to get you all set up for success before we head into Thanksgiving and all the things this holiday season. You don't want to miss. You can ask me questions live. You can feel motivated. You can learn what applying what I teach to over drinking looks like in a fun way, and be excited about entering the holiday season this year with having a plan and feeling excited about it versus, just saying, screw it, I'll wait till January 1, just like everybody else on the planet, and overdrink and overeat and feel crappy and not have the exact holiday experience that you want to have. So you can have fun and not overdrink. I promise you all. I think you can have more fun and not overdrink. So come join me in those classes. The link to do that is just in the show notes here. So just click through and sign up. You can pick one of those days or come to both if you want. So the next thing I want to let you know is if you are a member in the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living coaching program, my 6-month coaching program, I'm having a bonus class. It's a bonus workshop for my current members on the Monday after Thanksgiving, and it's called Losing Weight During the Holidays, and it's going to be led by one of the mentors and I. This mentor has lost weight starting a year ago that was right in the beginning of the holidays and has reached so many goals, and her and I are going to be doing this workshop together. And it's just for members inside the coaching program, and you'll be able to get live coaching on your goals around weight loss, feel inspired and feel ready and motivated to reach your goals starting now. So I'm really excited about that. So if you want to join the paid 6-month coaching program, the link to look at that and apply is also through the show notes. So what I want to talk about today is focusing on the wrong things. And, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, or you are a member of the program or you read my emails, I talk about this idea that it's not so much about the alcohol, it's why we are drinking it in the first place. And I was hiking in the woods this morning and thinking about, when I used to numb my thoughts. So I would come home from work, high stress job, had 3 little kids to manage at the end of the day, put all the moving pieces in place. I felt like it was this complicated puzzle, and if one of the pieces fell out apart, the whole thing would crumble. And my brain would just be reliving the day at my work, um, reliving conversations that I had, and thinking about my to-do list and thinking about tomorrow, and just this angst that I had in my day. So I would use alcohol to quiet all of that down, right? So I would use it to just shut off the chatter. Can you guys relate? And what I think is a really good indicator for you all, if you're questioning how much you're drinking, if you feel like you're drinking too much and you really want to look at cutting back, or what is realistic for you, or what's an indicator of yourself drinking too much, and what kind of relationship do you want to have with alcohol, right? Like if you're having those kind of questions, this is something that I came up with today for you, and it's this: the frequency in which you want to numb your mind should be a signal that your mind needs some help, not a signal to numb it. Okay, that was huge. I want to read it again. The frequency in which you want to numb your mind should be a signal that your mind needs some help, not a signal to numb it. Okay, so if I had received that information, I think I probably would have cut 10 years off of my drinking, right? I didn't know that my mind needed support, right? That I needed some mental health support with that chatter that was going on in my brain, and the anxiety and the overwhelm that I was feeling, right? That's mental health. Your feelings are generated from how you're thinking, and that starts in your mind, right? And that is mental health. And if you are numbing with alcohol to quiet down that chatter, and you look at your past 7 days, and that looks like every day you want to quiet that down, you probably need more mental health support. Okay, whether that's joining my coaching program, or seeing a therapist, or talking to a spiritual advisor or another coach or something like that, you need to get some support on what is happening inside of your mind. Okay, because we shouldn't need to escape our thinking. We shouldn't need to escape that chatter. That is an indicator that you don't have the tools, and you need to learn some new tools and how to manage what is happening inside your brain and what is happening for you emotionally. Okay, my friends? So it's just another good sort of pinpoint or flag that you can ask yourself. Okay, so the frequency in which you feel like you want to numb out, and maybe even the depth in which you want to numb out. Okay, so a lot of times I hear from clients or people listening to the podcast, it's like they can manage Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, it's fine. But on the weekends, they want to go all out, and they kind of binge drink on the weekends. Okay, and they just want to shut it all off from the week. All right, so basically what's happening is that they're saving their numbing, and it's compounding all of the issues that they're numbing from to the weekend. And then they're using alcohol, a lot of it, to completely break free and give themselves a break in their head from everything that they've been carrying from the week. So think about like a big suitcase. And on Monday, they're packing some shit in there, right? And they're carrying it with them to Tuesday. And Tuesday, they're packing even more shit in there. And by every day, they're adding more anxiety, more overwhelm, more repetitive thinking that isn't serving them, more rumination, right? All the way into Friday, and they cannot get that suitcase closed on Friday night or Saturday. It is just like at its breaking point, right? And so what happens is then they use alcohol to just shut it all away, to just like set that suitcase on fire, basically. So they don't have to think anymore, and they're giving themselves a break of what's happening in their mind. And it's just not a good tool, y'all, because it doesn't solve what the shit that you've packed in the suitcase has, right? That suitcase is still there. It's still full. You've just numbed it, right? It's like you just put it in a plastic bag and you set it aside for later. It is still there. You just can't access it. You don't hear it as loudly if you throw alcohol on top of it. That's why a lot of times people binge eat or drink on the weekends. It's because they can deal with that chatter and the thoughts and everything and the feelings that they have during the week. They resist it. They white knuckle. They ignore it, right? They scroll or something, do other sort type of behavior in the evenings, or overwork is also a sign of ignoring things. And then at the weekend, they just like, I just need a break from all of this. Does that make sense? So it's again, when we think about alcohol and we just focus on not drinking, you're focusing on the wrong thing, right? You're focusing on just all of your effort on not drinking. You haven't addressed all of the things that are in that suitcase, right? On a day-to-day basis. And if you don't look at that and focus on that, then it's really hard to stop over drinking. It's really hard to not drink on the weekends because you're just resisting and avoiding and ruminating, right? So what I want to invite you to do is focus on why you are numbing. Okay, what are those pervasive thoughts? What is happening for you at your job that is causing so much stress? What is happening in your relationships that you feel like you need to escape or avoid? What is happening with what you think about yourself, what you think about your body, what you think about how you follow through on things or not? What do you think about your capabilities to change your relationship with alcohol? We need to look at that and focus on those things before we can change our relationship with alcohol. And if we don't, if we just do something like a dry January or say we're not going to drink Monday through Thursday, we end up in the same old patterns. Does that make sense? So it's just another way for me to say it's not so much about the alcohol, but a way to look at this in your life is even if you are one of my clients and you've cut back significantly on your drinking, say you were drinking 4 or 5 drinks a night, you've got it down to 2 drinks a night. That's awesome, right? But what are you still using those 2 drinks a night for? Or if you're listening to the podcast or, you're working on it, like what are you still needing the escape with alcohol for? Okay, so the frequency in which you want to numb your mind should be a signal that your mind needs some help. If you didn't have those drinks there, what would come up for you? What is happening in your brain and in your emotional health that feels bad, that you couldn't just sit there with yourself at the end of the day? And the more opportunities you give yourself to reveal that by not drinking or drinking significantly less on most days, right? You get to see what is there and why you're drinking in the first place, and then we can change it, right? That's why I do this very popular free program called the Wine-Free Work Week, and we all pledge together to take 4 days off of alcohol to understand why we're drinking in the first place and then fix it, right? So when you are thinking about changing your relationship with alcohol, it's important for you to give yourself some space, even if it's just, I normally drink at 5, I'm not going to drink until 7, so I can see what is coming up for myself, right? So I can understand why I want to numb in the first place. So just another way to think about it, my friends. So don't forget to sign up for the free masterclass next week. We've got 2 options, how to enjoy the holidays without over drinking. And I can't wait to see you there. Have a beautiful week. Talk to you soon.